Hi everyone. Are you ready to start the instruction thing? Make sure that you are using Chrome. You need to watch the first video and explain the choice boards, what you're supposed to be doing, but make sure that you are in choice boards. Chrome, to see the videos and download everything. And we're gonna get straight to it and get started. Okay. The first thing is that you need to make sure that you go to your Canvas. And in Canvas, I've already started the videos for week 2, so the other videos in there, you need to be watching it. Your distant choice board, when we're going to your choice board, I'm pretending you've already pulled up your vocabulary words and you've been working on your quizzes. Now we're on iReady pages 179 to 183. So if you have your workbook, go ahead and get your workbook out. If not, go back here and go to right this section, pages 179, 183, evaluate an argument. Pull those up. Go right here and go ahead and click here and download that to your desktop. Okay, please remember you need to be in Chrome, and if you're doing this on the computer or you're doing it on your computer, you can download. If you're doing it on your cell phone, if you have your book there, just get your book out and watch the video. If you have your computer, download them, pull them up. If you want to write your answers on a sheet of paper to take a picture, that's fine, or you can pull up Word and write your answers down. But please watch this video. All right, the next thing before we get started is I want to show you a PowerPoint. So let's look at the PowerPoint and let me start. Evaluating an argument in a text. Let me get rid of me. All right. So what is an argument in a text? It's an opinion that the author wants the reader to agree with. Authors try to convince readers to agree with their stance by giving specific reasons or claims about why they believe their argument is correct or true. To show why each claim is valid, authors explain each claim in a more detail by providing evidence or proof, which includes reasons, facts, and examples. It's up to the reader to evaluate the agreement. So what does evaluate mean? Evaluate means to judge whether or not the claim and evidence have a sound basis in logic, and work together to create a strong argument. How do you decide if a particular movie, band, song, or video game is a good one? Think about it. What makes you make an opinion and this is your choice? Is it because it captures your attention? It's something about you can relate to. What else can you think of? How about Mrs. Graham as an alien? Pretty good, hey? That look good. All right. Evaluating the arguments in the text you read will help you to judge the merits of the author's stance as well as develop your own opinion about the topic. So now let's get straight to this. Let's go to our document. All right, now, when you get here, you should have this. Now, some of you will have different things. You might not have this, but your thing should be up here on how to do things. And I want to get rid of this section, so I'm going to go up here and go to View, Show Hide, Tools Pane, and I get rid of that for my whole thing. You have to have this downloaded. If you do not have it downloaded on your desktop, you won't get the things to be able to highlight. To use the highlighter, I'm going to highlight. I just highlight using my mouse on my computer, and this box will pop up. Well, then click on the highlighter and I highlight. So you're going to be evaluating an argument. So when you hear the word argument, do you picture people involved in some kind of shouting match? That may be what some arguments look like. But in writing, an argument, but we got to realize we're dealing with writing, and to hit text, I just hit the T to underline. An argument is a text that explains why an author's position on an issue is valid. When building an argument, a writer makes one or more claims. And what are claims? They are statements he or she believes to be true. The writer backs up each claim with evidence, and evidence is information that supports the claim. Part of figuring out the strength of an argument is determining whether there is enough evidence to support the claim, and also whether the evidence does, in fact, act and support all. So we're going to read the following argument about a solar-powered cars, okay? Then we're going to come back and circle the claim. We're going to underline evidence, and we're going to finally cross out any information that does not support the claim. So let's read it. Detecting research money to the development of affordable solar power cars would be a wise investment. First, solar cars would help end our dependence on fossil fuels like oil and coal, which contribute to the pollution of our atmosphere. In addition, solar power is a renewable resource, unlike fossil fuels. It will never run out. Solar cars would also help the consumer save money. Panels attached to cars collect sunlight and turn it into electricity, so no one would ever need to buy another tank of gas. Finally, solar-powered cars would also come in all same colors as gas-powered cars. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to circle the claim. And the problem is with mine, I don't have a place where I can circle. We'll see if I have a draw section, but I don't think I do. No, I don't have a draw section. So the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight. I'm going to highlight my claim. The claim is the research money to development of affordable solar powers would be a wise investment. And if you go down here to our chart, that's the part. The claim is research money should be used to develop affordable solar powered cars. That's our claim right there. Your very first sentence is your claim. And your other evidence, your first evidence that we're going to underline is solar cars. Oops, that didn't work, did it? I forgot to click on it, right? And you have to click on the thing. So now I'm going to say solar cars would help end our dependence on fossil fuels, contribute to the pollution. And I'm going to hit the T to underline. All right, so that's my first claim that I found. And solar power is renewable resource. Hit the T, and that underlines it. And my next one is help the consumer save money. So those are the three claims, and I've underlined them. Then it said to get rid of information we don't need. Your last sentence is really information, and to get rid of it, you hit the T with the line and it crosses it out. That is information that doesn't really support the claim. And if you go down here, you have the claim and each of your evidences. And that's how they started. They wrote down, like even to start their paper, they wrote down their claim. And then they gave their evidence. They gave their evidence. In this introduction, they went and explained just a little about each one. And then to really write their paper, they're going to take each evidence and write a paragraph for each one of those. And see, that's how you would get your paragraph 1 would be this, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, and then your 5th paragraph would be summing it all up if we had to write an argument paper. But mainly we're trying to understand about how authors write arguments and base it up with claims and evidence. Please remember today, anytime that you're watching this video and you need to stop, you can put me on pause, you could stop it, you can come back. All right, let's move on to the next page. And this is page 180. So you're going to analyze how an author's argument in a speech. So this is a speech from Al Gore, all right? And he wanted to form a generational challenge to repower America. And this is from his speech. If we could use fuels that are not expensive, don't cause pollution, and are abundantly available right here at home, we have such fuels. Scientists had confirmed that enough solar energy falls on the surface of the earth every 40 minutes to meet 100% of the entire world's energy needs for a full year. Tapping just a small portion of the solar energy could provide all the electricity America uses. And enough wind power blows through the Midwest corridor every day to also meet 100% of the U.S. electricity demand. Geothermal energy, similar, is capable of providing enormous supplies of electricity for America. So look at the question. This excerpt, remember, this is only part of his speech. It's being pulled out. We're only taking the first 3 paragraphs. Follows a section of the speech in which Gore makes claims about the dangers of relying on expensive foreign oil. What is Gore's claim in this part of the speech? So we're looking for his claim. And really, and I'm going to do what is called the think aloud to be able to answer this question. So here I go. My think aloud. I know that a claim is a statement the speaker believes is true. I will reread to look for this statement. And while rereading, I'll look in the very first sentence. I see that Al Gore makes a claim in form of a question. So this right here is his claim. All right? He wrote his claim in a question. So if I go down here into my chart, we should use fossil fuels that are cheaper, cleaner, and more easily accessible than foreign oil. Okay? And I just summed it up, what his claim is. All right? Then I have to go through and I'm going to start looking at the evidence. So I'm going to go back and underline facts that prove this. So each paragraph should have a fact. The first sentence is the claim, and if I look at the title, so the first thing that really goes through and gives me a claim is this sentence right here. And I'm going to underline it, and I hit the T, and that's underlining. Tapping just a small portion of this solar energy could provide all of the electricity America uses. Then my next evidence would be here. It's going to meet 100%. And I hit the T and it underlines it. So now I've got my 2 claims. So when I go down here, my evidence number 1, and I don't have a thing, so if I click this picture right here, I can type in my claim. And my claim is, and I'm going to put some of this in my own words and not write word for word, okay? Solar energy and wind power can meet the world's energy needs. And that right there is just explaining this one right here. And mainly saying solar energy and the wind power can meet the world's energy needs. That's my first one. Now, if I did that too fast, you can stop it and come right back to it. I'm going to click on the little caption box again. I'm going to go to number 2. And my next one is, I'm going to talk about geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is capable of providing significant, oops, I spelled a lot of things wrong, amount, I'll fix those in a minute, of electricity. 2 fingers on your board, and oops, it doesn't do any of them, so let me go back and fix this. Energy is Right, so geothermal energy is capable of providing significant amounts of electricity, and that was dealing with that part. I didn't copy word for word, I wrote them in my own terms. So, thinking about this, what I want you to think now, if you have a partner, you can talk, but really, did Al Gore present enough evidence to support his claim? You should be able to say yes or no and be able to explain why he did or if he didn't. Are these two claims enough to support his claim? All right. So let's move on to the next page. Before we get off, I want to go here to this word abundantly. Okay. I want you to think about what does that word mean? It means in large amounts. And remember to always look around. And if you don't know what the word means, look around for other things to help you. And if you was to look this up, abundantly also means greatly, hugely, means a lot. So he's saying we have a lot more things that we can use besides using oil from other countries to give ourselves electricity. So let's go on to the next one. And this is going on with we're still dealing with Al Gore on his speech and talking about his speech. Now, with this page, we like to really look at the closed reading and the hint, all right? And mainly this is a way to just help you understand how these papers are written and help you to be able to figure out your answers. So the hint's going to remind us that an author must provide significant evidence in order for a claim to be supported adequately. And so the claim focus on evidence that supports the claim. The hint reminds us that we have to see the author provides. So let's go through. What I want you to do is read this. And while you're reading in this section, Gore introduces a new claim, recommending a way to begin using renewable energy. What evidence does Gore provide to support this claim? Underline details that support the claim. Now, the claim is here, okay? He's recommending a way to begin using renewable energy, okay? So that's his claim. Where is the evidence? Underline the evidence. And there's two. There's one in the first paragraph and there's one in the third paragraph. So go ahead. Okay. All right. You can either stop me now to try to do this on your own, or you can just keep going with me. The quickest, cheapest, and the best way to start using all this renewable energy is the production of electricity. In fact, we can start right now using solar power, wind power, and geothermal power to make electricity for our homes and our businesses. Right there. This is one of his claims. So we need to underline that claim. And when you highlight it, you now click the T and it underlines it. But to make this exciting potential a reality and truly solve our nation's problems, we need a new start. What does the word potential mean? What does that mean? It's being used as a noun, so it's a thing. So it's exciting potential, it's a thing. What does it mean? You can look it up. It's the possibility of something happening. It can start now. It's capability. So it's capable. It's something that really could happen. So that's why I'm, Al Gore, proposing today a strategic initiative designed to free us from the crises that are holding us down and regain control of our destiny. It's not the only thing we need to do, but this is strategic challenge is the limpchint of a bold new strategy needed to repower America. Sorry if I misspelled, didn't say that word correctly. Let's look it up and find out how to say that word. Let me see if I can. I don't think it's going to let me on this thing. So y'all going to have to look it up. But right here is his next claim. This one. So I'm going to hit the T and it underlined it. Free us from crises that are holding. So there's two claims that there's renewable energy. And that means that you can keep using this over and over and over and over again. Is one is solar power, wind power, geothermal. And he's also saying it can help us free us from the crisis that we're having now. So look at the things that you've underlined here to help you go down and hint. In a valid argument, the evidence must be significant to prove claims. Does Gore provide enough evidence? So how well does the author support his claim that the best way to begin using solar, wind, and geothermal power is to make electricity? A, he supports it well because the energy crisis is holding us back. B, he supports it well because he proposes a new energy strategy. C, he supports it poorly because he does not say why this way is best. Or D, he supports it poorly because these energy sources are not actually forms of renewable energy. What do you think, y'all? Is it A? A is incorrect. It's saying that the energy crisis hold us back doesn't explain why the best way to regain control is to use renewable energy to make electricity. Okay. B, no, that's incorrect. Gore is proposing a new energy strategy, but doesn't explain why this way is best. So it's the poor one. So which one is it, C or D? Well, let's look at D. D is incorrect. Solar, wind, and geothermal power are forms of renewable energy. So look at C. He supports it poorly because he does not say why this is the best way. And C is the correct answer. So you should have went to C, put your mouse down, highlight it, and click the highlighter, and C would have been the correct answer. The evidence doesn't tell why the best way to use renewable energy is to make electricity. Doesn't state that. So look at your answer. Look at the answer that you chose above. Citing text evidence, explain why you chose this answer. So you've got to use text evidence. So if I go here and put that over there, I'm going to tell you about that Gore claims that solar, wind, and geothermal power can provide a quick, clean, and cheap solution to the nation's energy crisis by providing electricity, but he gives no facts, reasons, or other evidence as to why listeners, because mainly this was a speech, should believe this is true. And I think I had claims spelled wrong. So the whole thing is Gore's claims, and you click on it, Gore's claims that solar, wind, and geothermal power can provide a quick, clean, and cheap solution to the nation's energy crisis by providing electricity. Here's the reason, it's this one right here. But he gives no facts, reasons, or other evidence as to why listeners should believe this is true. He never goes through and explains that, okay? So that's why that answer is why this is poorly. All right, if you finish page 181 and you feel like you need a break, just stop me and go on. The rest of you that want to continue, or if you're coming back, great. We're moving on to page 182. And from clean cars for California, from energy independence now. All right, what I want you to do now is you're going to read this by yourself. So I need you to turn it off and read it and then pop back on. And I'm going to pretend you've already stopped and you've read it. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, okay? And if you're sitting there going, no, I haven't read it yet, Miss Graham, turn it off, and then come back. So here are your 3 questions. What program does this article describe? You should remember when this is the section that you read, and then I give you 3 comprehension questions to see how you did on reading. And this is where you try to answer those questions. So what program does the article describe? Okay, it's the Advanced Clean Cars program adopted by California. Okay, second question, what is the author's opinion of this program? And explain. The author thinks this is a great program. Words such as tremendous victory and rightly suggest his point of view. And your third question is, what is the incremental change the program focuses on? Requiring improved efficiency in internal combustion engines and the related emission system. Now, if you got all those three questions correct, you got this. If not, you need to read just a little bit more. So let's go and look at our study buddy have to say. Sometimes an author's position and claims are not stated. As I read the article, I'm going to infer, you're making an educated guess, of the author's claims from the supporting evidence that's given. So sometimes you just have to look at the evidence, the claims, and then you can figure out what the author's claim is. And that's what she's doing. All right. So let's go look at closed reading. The very first one. What is the author's claim about the Advanced Clean Car program? Circle the sentence that reveals what the author believes to be true. I can't circle, so I'm going to highlight this. So if you go to the very first paragraph, it says on January 28, 2012, the California Air Resources Board anonymously voted to adopt the Advanced Clean Cars program, which represents the most comprehensive effort in the world to a society on path to end our dependence on oil. It's a tremendous victory for California residents and consumers with national and global benefits and implications by 2025 in California. And then it's going to give you each one of these. So his claim is right here, and it's going to go all the way to here. And I'm going to push the little highlight thing. So that's the claim, talking about we're going to end dependence on oil. So, and how are the claims? So we're going to go down here, and how does the data in the bullets? So look at your bullets. You have a bullet in 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so you're looking at the bullets. Help to support the author's claim and underline those. Well, the first bullet talks about 1 in 7 new cars sold will be zero emission. Okay, so we're going to hit the T, and that underlines. What does that mean? Well, look in the parentheses. That's telling us it's a battery electric or hydrogen fuel cell electric. You can even get those now here in Mississippi. You can get them right here in Corinth. You can get those kind of cars right here in Tupelo, all right? And the next thing is greenhouse gases will be reduced by 52 million tons, because as long as we're driving cars, we're making the greenhouse effect. We go to electricity, it stops our money. The next one is a tailpipe emissions. Okay, and that's really getting rid of what that is soot. It's that stuff that comes out of the back of a car that's nasty. Ever get behind a car that's got all that junk coming out? They stink. I hate getting behind those kind of cars. All right, look at number 5. California drivers will save $5 billion in operating cost. That would be nice to save money. Okay, costing down in fuel. And then number 6, 21,000 jobs will be added to California based on this. But if you're watching right now, our gas prices have gone down because nobody's going anywhere. Now, I want you to think about this. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's really filling up their cars and putting gas in them, so gas is low. It's cheap, okay? What's going to happen when all of this is over with? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen to gas prices then? All right, chapter 7 summarizes the whole thing, talks about it again to prove his point. Okay, now what I want you to really do in this page right here, how many of you know what a compound word is? Anybody know? Compound word is where you take 2 words and you put them together to make 1 word. All right, and sometimes we forget to put them together, but look in paragraph 2, you have the word, where's greenhouse? Greenhouse, right here, greenhouse. And I'm going to highlight it. That is a compound word. Have the word green and have the word house. Okay, so go through and find it. How many other compound words you can find? All right, let's go to our next page. right? And y'all, this is our last page. So if you're getting this far, you're doing good. You're almost finished with one day's work. So again, we're going to use the hints to help us answer these questions. First question, which statement best expresses the author's claim? Now remember, you go back over here, the author's claim is right here. We highlighted it, okay? So if you go over here, identify the answer choice that best summarizes the lines you circled on the previous page. Well, we couldn't circle them. We put them in, and some of you can circle them. So if you can circle them, go for it, but we highlighted them. But that's what you're looking at. So which statement best expresses the author's claim? And what they're doing is when they did this, they summarized it. And summarizing means they put it in their own words. A, it's important to reduce fuel costs for California drivers so that they can save money each year. B, by requiring cleaner, more efficient energy, engine, and emission systems, the Advanced Clean Cars program benefits everyone. C, requiring that 1 in 7 cars be a zero emission or plug-in vehicle is the only way to significantly reduce greenhouse gases. And D, the greatest achievement of the Advanced Clean Cars program is that it would create 21,000 jobs now, more in the future. Now, what I really want you to think about is some of those answers were the things that we underlined. Those are claims. We don't, I mean, those are your evidence, your facts. We don't want those. We don't want those that help support his claim. We want what's up here. So what do you think the correct answer is? A, B, C, or D? Highlight it. Well, let's look at A. A is incorrect, y'all. A is wrong because reducing fuel cost is evidence. It's not the author's claim. That's evidence, okay? That's one of the things we underline. Look at C. C is incorrect. These vehicles are just one of the ways to reduce greenhouse gases. That's only one, and that was talking about the greenhouse section. And look at D. D is incorrect because creating jobs is not its greatest achievements, nor is it its purpose. So the correct answer is B. So highlight it and then click the highlighter. And B summarizes the author's claims that this program benefits everyone. And look at that. They're the only two that even used Advanced Clean Cars program. Have you noticed that? Look for keywords also. All right, number 2, which evidence does the author provide to support this claim? All right, eliminate answer choices that do not specifically support the author's claim. Is it A, the author explains that the cars will still play an important role in our future system of transportation? B, the author describes how the California Clean Air Resources Board adopted the Advanced Clean Car program? Or C, the author points out how dependence on oil harms both the nation and the world? Or D, the author provides details about how the Advanced Clean Cars program will reduce car emission and benefit consumers? So eliminate answer choices that do not specifically support the author's claims. Author's claims? Look at the things you've underlined. Greenhouse gases will be reduced. Tailpipe emissions. Driver will save billions in operating costs. 21,000 jobs will be added to California. All right, pick your answer, highlight it. All right, let's look. A? No, A doesn't support how everyone will benefit. So A is not the answer. It doesn't support everyone. B is incorrect. The author does not tell how the program was adopted. That's not even in there. Doesn't tell how it was adopted. C, the choice is incorrect. The text doesn't provide this information. That's not even in the article. So your correct answer was D. So you should highlight it with your mouse and click the highlighter. D is correct because in paragraphs in your dots 2 through 6, okay, 2 through 6, identify how emissions will be reduced and consumers will benefit. So that's how things are going to be reduced and consumers, us, people, will be benefits. The correct answer was D. Now, look at this one. Is all the evidence relative or actually related to the claim? Is there enough evidence to fully support the claim? Decide how successful the author's argument about the Advanced Clean Car program is. Write a paragraph evaluating the soundness of the author's claims and the evidence used to support it, and cite at least 2 details. So this needs to be a paragraph. A paragraph is not one sentence. A paragraph is not two. A paragraph is not three. We talked about it. Paragraph, you need 3 or more sentences, and I really want more than 3 sentences, okay? And you need to go back and look. When we talked over here, and we gave this answer, yeah, that's a paragraph, y'all. Really, it's one sentence, so it's not a paragraph, Miss Graham. Got me, okay? But I answered all of it. So let's go back and look. And you've got to give information from the text, and you need to answer the question. So I'm going to hit one of these things. I'm going to put it way over here, and it's going to put it here, and I can make this bigger, but if you're typing, it's going to go bigger anyway. So the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the author, because that's who we're talking, the author's claims. So I'm going to restate the question. The author argues that the advanced clean car program is a tremendous victory slow down. Victory for California. Okay. He, and now I can say he. Did you notice up here I started off, I talked about the author. I didn't use a pronoun. I'm saying he now because now we know we are talking about the author. He claims that the state and consumers that are buyers will benefit from the increasing number of hybrid and zero emissions vehicles. And if you want to say cars, you can say cars, but I'm saying vehicles. Vehicles. And the increase in jobs, as well as the regulations that reduce emissions and greenhouse gases. And those are, I'm citing from the text, but I'm writing in my own words. By creating cleaner, more efficient engines and emissions systems, the program will help to reduce the nation's dependence on oil. And at the end is where I restated the question, I answered the question, I've got 2 sites in there that I wrote in my own words, and then I explained, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to try to answer these 2 questions. Think about it. In paragraph 5, so we go up here, go back to the story. If I clicked that too fast, you can click on it and get it written down. Go back to paragraph 5, which is right here. In paragraph 5, how does the author address evidence that supports the opposing view, that people agree, the people who are disagreeing with this? How is he doing that? Okay. It's when he's talking about the compared to added upfront cost approximately $2,000. So there he's throwing in how the savings are greater than the initial cost. And then what would the author like to see happen in this program? How can you tell? What can you infer that he wants to do? He wants the rest of the world to join in, okay? He thinks this makes sense. So now you need to save this to your desktop, and you've got all your answers now, and you need to submit this back through Canvas. If you're having a problem with writing the stuff down, get a Word document and type it up, but make sure you tell me what page you're on, what number, and you should be writing this whole thing out too, because you either get a little X or a big huge X, and I'd rather you get the big huge X. Okay, now what you need to do when you finish this, you need to watch the video on wind power, and you do the next pages of the wind power and iReady reading, pages 184 to 85 and 86. You do those on your own, and you submit those to me through Canvas. And then you can start working on anything else you want in there. Okay, so good luck with the rest of your choice boards. Do the iReady reading. Do the common lit. Pigs is pigs, but is it really about a real pig, or is it about those other things? And write a letter to your pet. Send me a picture of those pets. Okay? All right. See you guys. See you. I love y'all. I miss you. Yeah, I'd rather be back in class. Yep. Okay. Bye, y'all.